That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because she's getting older and she's better. You know? She's just better. And she's more mature.
I don't think it's more mature. I just think she's adorable in her stupid fight. Like, she has one move where she, like, kind of, like, whacks him with the mic stand, and she, like, does her poses. I'm like, yeah!
I'm actually really confused because I did one of her attacks, and it's like, oh, wait, this is a rhythm. I didn't know I was playing a rhythm game. Oh, God!
Yeah, she is an interesting character.
Oh, and by the way, the podcast started, so...
Yeah, I noticed that. Got 2 eyes and a monitor in front of me.
Well, how about you turn away from the monitor so we can actually...
The mic is in the same direction as the monitor, so
I can catch you...
I would never turn away from my mic.
I can catch you talking shit about your waifu.
No, you will never catch me talking shit about my waifu.
Oh, okay, so
I'll talk shit about your waifu because you have terrible taste, but that's just...
We'll discuss that later.
That's just... Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, first episode podcast. Off to a great start here, ladies and gentlemen. Or actually, let's be honest, only gentlemen are actually going to listen to this.
You don't know that. There could be plenty of ladies who just want to hear about video games and waifus.
Maybe the first one.
I would, if I was a lady, I would want to know about my waifus, because I have really good taste in waifus.
Yeah, you'd want to hear about your husband, whatever.
Maybe I do. Look, I've seen some shit that I'm okay with. I don't
You mean
mind.
Dojima?
Dojima is an outstanding father, and I would love a spin-off of just him and Adachi sticking around.
No, I want to see a spin-off with Adachi being impaled several times.
I just want more Adachi, to be perfectly honest. He is one of my favorite villains in video gaming, just because, I don't know, something about like his motivation really connects with me.
You guys can't see this, but...
I can see this.
But, yeah, you can guess what this is.
There's this birdie in the room right now. I don't know if you know about this. Why do you not like Adachi?
Because he fucking almost kills Nanako, that's why.
He almost kills everyone.
Yes,
I don't see the point.
But it's Nanako. That's the point.
He is a bad guy. That's like saying, oh my god,
yes,
villains are terrible because they are bad. Like, yes, we get that they're bad, but he's a good villain.
Yes, but he still almost kills Nanako. That's like almost killing Koromaru in Persona 3.
You know what? The dog was dumb. I'm gonna come out and say
fuck you! Fuck you and your dog hatred. My god. You might...
The dog, like...
You might have good taste in waifus, but you have shit taste in actual NPCs.
He said for the record, better taste.
Right no, I said you have good taste.
That's good enough. It's either I have good taste and you agree with it, or I have bad taste, which is untrue.
You may have good taste, but you don't have the best taste.
Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. Adachi. Why is he DLC?
He was free for the first week.
Yeah, he was free for the first week, but I didn't play it for the first week because I was working on Hyrule Warriors, trying to get that done.
You could have just popped it in for like 5 seconds. You didn't even have to pop it in. Go to the PSN store.
Well, at the time, I didn't know that it was only a week. So now I unfortunately don't have Adachi, and it is bothering the hell out of me because I can't live without Adachi. I may end up because I sort of. One of the reasons I was very sketch about Persona 4 Ultimax is because gameplay-wise, it's pretty much the same thing as Persona 4 Arena. Right?
Not really, actually. They did.
Well, there are good, subtle enough differences, but...
There are actually a lot of changes there, dude.
It still feels a lot like jumping from like Street Fighter 4 to Street Fighter Ultimate. For the average person, it's not a huge change. For someone hardcore, someone a big fan of the series... Persona-wise, there are some nice changes.
Our fighting
but for the average player, it's not a huge step up. And one of the things that like really pushed me over the edge was the inclusion of Adachi, and I just completely forgot to download him.
Well, to be fair, I thought I downloaded him and I didn't, so I had to stop by before I came and pick up a card so I could buy him.
Oh.
I did get Marie, though, which, you know...
I can live without Marie. I can.
Actually, she's actually kind of fun. She almost plays kind of like Teddy with a gimmick. She's got all sorts of
Teddy
items.
is a gimmick. Teddy is the gimmick. All his moves are little gimmicks.
Well, she also has a lot of interesting gimmicks.
Yeah, I don't know because I don't have her and I haven't played with her.
Well, you suck.
Well, thank you for sharing.
So, what did you do with your week? What did you play? What did you watch?
What did I play? I'm grinding out a lot more Hyrule Warriors.
Did you finish the game?
I have finished the game. I've gotten, the Master Sword unlock. And I've rewritten my review for that like 4 different times because the more and more I play this game, like it started out really fun and I was playing the story mode and I was like, yeah, we're doing it. We're cutting bad guys. And then I jumped to the adventure mode in which I was just kind of like, it's the same thing 40 times and you gotta keep doing it and gotta keep doing it and gotta keep doing it.
It's almost like this is like a Dynasty Warriors game.
I know, but the problem was...
best Dynasty Warrior game ever made.
It didn't have to be. Like, it didn't have to be so repetitive. They could have... Like, I would have much rather had them completely cut the adventure mode and just given a few more contextual story mode missions because here's the big thing. For the story mode missions, each of the missions had their own, like, little gimmick to them. Like, they have their own little events and things going on, but that's not true in the adventure mode. In the adventure mode, it just says, hey, go beat the map. And you do that 40 million times, and there's nothing new about the missions.
Well, here's the thing. You treat adventure mode like you treat arcade mode in a fighting game. I'm kind of bored. I'll beat 2 maps or something.
Well, that would be true if 90% of the unlocks weren't hidden behind adventure mode. And one of the big problems is the way they have it set up is that to get most of the unlocks you're looking for, you have to reveal the secret in the map. And to do that, you need an item. And to get that item, you have to go back and replay another mission. And if it's one of the missions where you have to use like a bomb or the candle, you have to also replay the mission to get the compass so you know where to use it. Unless you've memorized or you just looked it up on GameFAQs, which I didn't do because I was too busy trying to grind out this game.
Because you were an idiot.
I mean, you could say that, but at the same time, if my internet was down or if for whatever reason I just am one of those players who never use guides, this is a tedious game. And even if you do use guides and do all this, it's still a very, very tedious game.
But again, that's Dynasty Warriors. You just described exactly the problem with Dynasty Warriors.
Well, you can say it's a problem, but it doesn't have... That's the big point. It doesn't have to be. Like, you can mix up the gameplay in ways that it never feels like a chore. Focusing on missions where, like, you have real set objectives, and rather than, Because here's the thing. You can either play the game as Godzilla in Tokyo, and you smash things around for 5 minutes, and then you're just like, well, I could smash another building, I guess. Or you could play the mission as, you're this one guy, you're super great, but you can't be everywhere at the same time. And so making these decisions and making these choices, each make the game, it makes it have this ebb and this flow to it, and that's really fun, and that will always be fun. But when the mission is just clear the map, or kill 100 enemies, or something like that, it's boring, because all you do is press the same button 40 times, and then you win. And that's not fun.
It's still a really fun game.
Look, here's what I want people to walk away from Hyrule Warriors. It's worth the money. Story mode is fantastic. It is absolutely fantastic. Adventure mode, if you want more, there's tons more. I thought it was too much. I'm definitely one of those people who, if a game's like, this is a 400-hour game, I'm like, well, I don't have 400 hours to spend on you. I will like a pure experience. Like, take Portal. Portal lasted maybe 6-8 hours max.
Less than that.
Like less. That's being generous. Like if you're a bad player.
Like if you get constantly motion sick and have to vomit every 5 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, was me. So.
I'm so sorry. But yeah, like, if that's your experience through, like, Portal, even then, like, it's a short game, but everything flows nice and it feels good and it doesn't get too tedious. And, you know, having to do the same, like, alright, I shoot the portal here and then I shoot the portal there, an extra 20 hours would have killed the game.
Okay, fair enough. But you see, the problem I'm having with story mode of Hyrule Warriors is, the new character, the original character.
Oh, yes, yes.
It's because, you see, okay, you make...
Sad now?
Okay, so you make playable Ganon, okay? You give Legend of Zelda fans something they have been really hoping for, like, since Ocarina of Time. And then you take away his Triforce. And you take away the Triforce of Power and give it to... original character, do not steal deviant art. Because it's fanfic.
Sia the Hedgehog.
Exactly, it's fanfic. She's so cool, she's got the Triforce, and...
I just laugh, like, there's one mission in the game where you're literally in this room that has just pictures and Link on the wall, and then you finally fight her for, like, the first time, and, like, she's shooting, like, little links out of her, and you're just like, come on. So I could complete, for both her and for Lana, they were kind of like, they could have done more. And that's why I say, like, I wish they had just a better, more focused story mode and they just axed the adventure mode altogether.
I don't know. I really don't know about that. Because the adventure mode, to me, I'm one of those kind of players who can sit down for, like, 3 or 4 hours and just play those maps and have a blast. I'm the endurance player.
Yeah, like, I could understand that, but my problem is, like, I don't mind going through and enduring games when they're engaging and they're fun and I have to think... Like, there are plenty of games out there where I've done 1 billion hours into them. It's just, like, one game. This is a game...
Persona 4!
I only beat that game twice. Eventually, like, somebody's gonna get me a Vita, and I'm gonna get that game, and I have to play it a third time, but until then, I've only beat that game twice.
Anyway.
But for Hyrule Warriors, it's not a game that has a lot of replay value in the way I want it to have. Like,
But it does have replay value, though.
Oh, God, yes. Like,
Just not what you want.
Well... I would say, like, it's my personal preference, but there is this fatigue that sets in after a while. Like, doing the same mission over and over again.
I get it, to unlock something that you want.
Yeah, like, one of the big things is they have this Master Sword and they give it to you in the story mode, and it has this special, like, lock. You have to kill 200 billion enemies and get every other weapon in the game. And to get every other weapon in the game, you have to pretty much beat all of adventure mode, because to get to, like, the far corners where certain of the weapons are, you have to beat all the missions in between.
Alright, so you do anything else? You get Smash yet?
I have Smash.
And you're just picking it up right now, folks?
There we go. If you can see through audio.
Yes, you can
could
see through the
cover
internet.
of Smash Brothers for the 3DS.
I've actually been seeing some kind of mixed reviews about that.
I am definitely on the mixed review end of this. It is Smash. Yay. It is also really hard to play. And the controls are just not that great for Smash. Like, it's not as responsive as I want it to be.
What do you think of, like, the maps and the characters and all that good stuff?
Oh, yeah, like, I messed around with the characters, and they're fun, and everything. I want the Wii U, like, all it did was wet my tongue for the Wii U version, and I feel like I'm gonna get the Wii U version, I'm gonna take the 3DS version, I'm gonna put it in the closet, and I'll never take it out again.
Alright, fair enough.
Just because, like, and here's the one thing that really killed me, like, the one thing that sold me on the 3DS version that got me super hyped, and that was Smash Run, aka Kirby Air Ride. Like,
and that doesn't exist?
It's still in there, but it's not what I wanted, I think. The first big thing that killed it for me was that there's no online multiplayer of Smash Run, which is just a sin against sins. Like, this is the mode that only the 3DS, like, this is practically selling the 3DS version. This is its big difference, other than, you know, black borders.
Better graphics and a better controller and...
Yeah, like, the Wii U version has everything but Smash Run. And so I feel like Smash Run should be the big thing that they push for 3DS. And instead, it's pretty much a single-player experience unless you have lots of friends with a 3DS. And if you have that, that's great. You can play your local co-op. But I've got a lot of friends who don't even live in the same country as me who would love to play Super Smash Bros. Kirby Air Ride with me.
I love how you just switched to that. Just automatically.
Kirby Air Ride, yeah.
Yeah, Super Smash Brothers Kirby Air Ride.
Well,
fuck every other character, just Kirby.
No. Have you ever played Kirby Air Ride?
I have, and maybe I was too young when I played it.
All right. There is a specific mode in Kirby Air Ride, and I think it's like city mode or something like that. Basically, what it is you have like 5 minutes in this little city with your star, and you run around and collect power-ups, and there's events that happen, and like you solve events and you can get cool power-ups, better power-ups.
Okay, that actually does sound like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's super fun. It's the best thing in the world. Me and my friends, we could sit there and play it for hours and hours, and we did play it for hours and hours and hours, just going at it. And like at the end of the thing, it would have this random thing, like it would be, maybe one is a race, maybe another is a battle, maybe another is, does it sound anything like Smash Run at all?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because when they announced it and they said all these things, I'm like, wait a minute, that's Kirby Air Ride City Mode. And I was on board, right then and there. And then I played it. And unfortunately, it's not at all as fun as Kirby Air Ride. One of the big things is it's really punishing. Like, maybe I just need to get better at the game.
Get good?
Get good, yeah. Maybe I just need to get better at the game. But unfortunately, as is, like, there are a lot of times where I'm just getting, like, pretty much gang raped. Like, there are so many enemies on the screen, and a lot of them have these, like, long distance moves, or they're homing, or they have, like...
Do you know what that sounds like to me? Sounds like you need to get good.
But, like, and I guess you're supposed to, like, weigh it out with items and, all these, like, special equipment you can find, which is actually a really cool thing. I really like that about this game. But, like, I can beat level 9 of the regular arcade classic mode, but I keep getting my ass handed to me in Smash Run. So I'm not having as much fun with that. Like, it should have been more focused on having a bit easier to collect your power-ups and have enemies not tank 40 hits. Like, there are lots of enemies in this game who you can hit them for days. They do not flinch, and then they just pound you. And it is unfun.
I also heard the break the targets was changed completely.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird things in it. Like, there's this one, like, Angry Birds mode thing.
That's why I heard what break the targets became was Angry Birds.
Yeah, well, there is, like, a break the targets kind of thing, like in Smash Run. You can, like, find little hidden doors, and when you pop into them, there's events, and one of them is break the targets. But there's also a mode, and I think it's more closely to the Home Run Derby than anything else, because you're in a little arena, you have like 10 seconds to hit this ball to rack up damage, and then you hit the bomb, and it flies out, and then it basically does an Angry Bird thing. You try to break a bunch of targets in an Angry Birds.
That doesn't
It's not fun. It's not fun.
So basically, this is like the ground zeros of Smash. You could do it, but...
Well, no. This is what I'm going to say. Ground Zeroes was fun. All the neat little features was not... Like, Ground Zeroes was this new experience, and I got into it, and I played Ground Zeroes, by the way.
You played it a lot, it sounds like.
I did all the things. I had a lot of fun replaying the mission just because it felt really good to play. And that's another problem with Smash 3DS. It does not feel really good to play.
Well, that's a problem with the controller.
Yeah, but
if you had a GameCube controller, half of this conversation would have been you like, "Oh, this is so much fun."
And that is a legitimate point. But the 3DS version will never have a GameCube. It'll just have, and I hope maybe with the new 3DS, because they have the new one with the second joypad.
I really hate that name, though. So what you get? I got a new 3DS.
I know, it's just
Which
about
one?
as creative as
Who's
the
on
Wii
base?
U. Nintendo, please stop naming things. Please stop naming things.
I can't even really come up with a counter to that.
Yeah,
Okay, so
because, like, even Smash, like, what's Smash 4 called? Smash 3DS and Smash Wii U.
No. You're not getting it. You missed it. You missed the joke. It's Smash 4 3DS. Smash 4 Wii U.
Oh, ooh.
That's a lot. That's a lot cleverer.
Look,
cleverer.
I'm gonna hold the box up. What's the smallest word in the title there?
Smash. Okay, yeah. Okay.
It is tiny. It is like hidden in between. They didn't. Nintendo didn't even get their own joke, I guess.
It's like It's like finding the arrow in the FedEx logo. Okay.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that, go look up the FedEx logo. There's a little arrow in it. I didn't see it until somebody pointed it out to me. But
Did you do anything else? Read anything? Watch anything?
I watch a lot of things. But I think that's pretty much it for games right now. I beat Borderlands 2, the pre-sequel. It's Borderlands 2 again. It might as well have been DLC. That's all I'm going to say on that. It was boring.
I don't like Borderlands to begin with.
I didn't like Borderlands to begin with. I still don't really like Borderlands.
And I'm the kind of guy who will sit down and play an MMO and look at the little stat changes, and I didn't even like the way they did it with Borderlands.
Well, the way it was, I had some friends, and then we were like, hey, we're going to play Borderlands. You should buy it and play Borderlands with us. And you know what? They're friends. I'm going to play a game with them. That's exactly what happened.
That's what you do.
That's what you do, because...
As you do.
Friends, it's not about what you're doing. It's about the people you're with. And the people I was with was great. What we were doing, we kind of quit partway through because it was just that bad.
Just that bad, huh?
Just that bad. But yeah, let's pass it on to you, because what have you been playing?
Well, I have been playing one game almost exclusively for the past week. I'm sure you can guess what that is.
I'm pretty sure I can guess, because I lent it to you.
I have been playing Dark Souls 2 almost exclusively. I got on the Dark Souls 2 bandwagon a bit late, yes.
A bit late indeed.
Yes, but at least the Game of the Year edition hasn't come out yet, because you know it will.
Oh my god, if it does, I don't even know what I'll do.
It will. I even bought DLC for it.
You got, because I didn't get the DLC for it.
Well, I am buying the DLC for it.
Alright, he's buying the DLC for borrowed games, folks. That is
high praise.
I feel like you must have enjoyed this then.
I am enjoying it indeed, but we'll get into that a bit later when we do our, I guess we'll call it a segment, what I did in Dark Souls today.
I feel like we're just going to start that now, because we've already brought it up.
Let me get through the rest of my week.
Alright, hold up. He's been apparently playing more than one game.
No, actually, I've only been playing one game.
To us.
But I have been watching some other stuff.
Go for it. What have you been watching?
Let's see. What have I been watching? I'll divide it up by the channels I watch it on. Let's see. First, on Amazon Prime, I discovered, much to my happy surprise, they have every Batman the Animated Series episode.
That is a fairly good show to watch.
Fairly
good way to start a week. To end a week, to begin it is a good show. I love that show as a kid.
I loved it as a kid.
I think I love it a lot more as an adult, though.
Actually, yeah, it's really weird because you like it as a kid, and then you go back and you look at it, and it's like, oh my god, this art style is amazing. Yeah, and these characters.
I think one of the things is, like, as a kid, you're just kind of like, yeah, he's punching dudes. And then as an
he's
adult,
Batman, and he's like, yay.
As an adult, you're kind of like, holy crap, this is well thought out. And there's a lot more of this, like, comic book sensibilities that you don't get until you're older.
And the art style with a lot of good use of negative space, and the gothic style is amazing.
There's a specific word, like dark deco or something.
Art deco is what you're looking for.
And
Dark deco, oh my god.
Because I think that's what they called it, because like it was the deco, but it was so dark.
Fair enough.
I don't know. Somebody's gonna Google that for us.
But I do have one complaint about the show, and I know this is really nitpicky, and I know this is just a product of the time, and I know it's because it's the fact that it's a kid's show, but Batman doesn't punch ladies at all. And I know.
Have you been like watching the show? Like, come on, Batman, punch that girl in the face.
Yes, actually, I have. There's a gal with a machine gun going just across the room, and it's like, okay, Batman, throw the batarang.
Oh my god.
Throw the batarang. Okay, you're not gonna throw the batarang. Punch her in the face. You're not gonna punch her in the face. God damn it. And I know it's a kid's show and you can't punch girls, but it's like all the episodes with Catwoman, I'm halfway tempted to skip because, honestly, I've never really liked Catwoman as a character. The new cartoon. Oh, have you seen that new cartoon?
I have not.
It's a YouTube exclusive. The DC channel. It's written by Paul Dini, so you know already it's good.
Yeah.
And it's a Catwoman exclusive, and it's really good.
I will have to check this out.
It's a bit mature, but
you know what? I am a bit mature myself. I am not 16 anymore.
Okay. Yeah.
I buy my own video games and pay my own taxes.
Okay, fair enough. But yeah, I don't like Catwoman, so whenever there's an episode of Catwoman, it's like, okay, so he's not gonna punch her, and I have to deal with this kind of awkward romance. I don't want to skip it, but I may just want to.
I am not a big fan of Catwoman in general. I think, like, she could have been an interesting character.
I mean, she is an interesting character.
Nobody's ever, like...
a cat burglar, and she's a thief, and you could do this romance stuff, but whenever I see her, it's just kind of... I don't know,
I've never seen her written in a way that I'm like, yes, they've maximized the potential of the female cat burglar.
I have the same problem with Harley Quinn, to be honest.
I can understand that completely.
I mean, she's overhyped is the problem.
Well, like, because wasn't she made by pretty much that cartoon?
She was made by the cartoon. They needed a hench person who could, like, talk to the Joker and not just be another generic thug. Yeah. So they made her. And she got really super popular.
Yeah, she was,
Just a little popular.
Put it this way, I liked her more in Batman Beyond when she was old, and all she did was tell her little nieces to stop causing trouble.
Those are her granddaughters.
Yeah.
I kind of like that, because it implies that she got over her crush on the Joker.
Yeah, like, I'm a big fan of Batman Beyond. I rewatched it now, and it's really campy and not as good as I remember, but there's just something about that setting that really captivates.
That cyberpunk setting, perhaps?
That cyberpunk setting, perhaps.
Let's see, what else did I watch? I actually watched the new Daniel Radcliffe movie.
Alright.
Horns. You didn't hear about that one?
I do not.
It's based on a book by Joe Hill. Now, if you don't know his full name, it's Joseph Hill King, as in that king.
Alright.
So, he's got a bit of a pedigree to live up to. And the movie is interesting. Okay, it's about this guy who, his girlfriend is, like, raped and murdered, and everybody's blaming him for it.
That sounds like a problem.
That is a problem. So one night he gets super pissed drunk, and he pisses all over the shrine to her because he's annoyed that everybody thinks he's a murderer.
That sounds like not a problem. That's a good time.
Yes. Okay, and he wakes up in the morning, and he's got two horns growing out of the top of his head.
So, like, did he become a demon? Is that, like, the twist?
Well, he's getting demonic powers because people act like they've always been there. Oh, your horns are looking good today, buddy. And they start telling him their deepest secrets. And they start asking him, hey, should I go and kick that kid in the ass because he's crying constantly and I can't stand it?
So, like, he's becoming, like, the devil who whispers in people's ears?
He's becoming the devil, basically.
Oh, alright, so, yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, and it's a good movie. The girlfriend, they introduce the girlfriend in, like, flashbacks. just kind of the girlfriend. She doesn't actually have any depth to her.
Yeah, sounds like a lot of,
But it's really good. The makeup they do for him is really good because it's horn, so it's a lot of practical effects, and it looks really good.
Alright, that actually sounds pretty interesting then.
And it's also on Amazon.
Like, you sound like you're pitching Amazon almost.
Well, Amazon, if you're listening to this and you don't have Amazon Prime, the fuck is wrong with you?
Maybe they're all pirates. All of our fans are secretly pirates.
Well, then I guess we're not going to make too much money off of this, then how are we?
I don't think... It's not about the money, it's about the love. It's all about the love.
And the money. The money would be nice.
We can see how we split this deal.
Buy Amazon! Get me my check!
You first have to ask Amazon to endorse you before you say that.
Mountain Dew and Doritos.
Mountain Dew and Doritos.
Xbox One.
You know what? I really love, at this point, I love the bad Mountain Dew Dorito jokes.
Solid Snake smearing the Dorito dust across his face in the trailer. No, not Solid Snake, Big Boss, whatever, whoever he is. I don't play Metal Gear.
It's Venom Snake in this one. Get your Metal Gears right. Have you really not played Metal Gear?
I have never played a Metal Gear game in my life.
Alright, I have the HD collection. You're doing it.
You're serious?
I am straight up serious.
Okay, because I have another friend who's been saying I need to play the Metal Gear games. I have to play them in release order because apparently, according to Kojima, you play them in release order.
Yes, you do. They're fantastic. I can, if you haven't played Metal Gear Solid, you can skip the original Metal Gears. They're a little too dated. They're really good.
I feel asleep.
They are really good, but they are dated, and modern game sensibilities kind of die on them. But if you haven't played the Metal Gear Solids, they still hold up like nobody's business.
I like how whenever you make an announcement like this, you go to turn to the microphone.
Because I'm talking to the audience in this case. I gotta look at that fourth wall, which in this case is actually a microphone.
Microphone over your television set.
A microphone over my... I'm actually looking at my Persona 4 wallpaper.
You're telling Teddy right now that he needs to play Metal Gear Solid.
Teddy, why have you not played Metal Gear Solid? Buddy, hey, dude. GNES is great, but they probably sell the HD collection. You should check it. That's the big thing right now. You can get the HD collection if you have a PS3.
Oh, is it free on the PSN? I heard. Is it if you get the PlayStation the PlayStation whatever, their version of Xbox Gold, whatever that is?
Maybe. I don't actually have the PlayStation Network.
PlayStation Plus, that's it.
Yeah, PlayStation Plus.
Because I heard they actually have a lot of free good games.
Yeah, they do. I have a friend who raves about it all the time, and if I had...
the spare cash.
I probably would have... The problem was I joined PlayStation side, if you will, late in the PlayStation 3's life, and I really only grabbed it for a select couple of games that I didn't really want to...
the Persona station, as it were?
No,
That's what I call my PS3. It's the Persona station.
For me, I call it my Dark Souls station because I played more of
the
Dark
Station.
The Dark Station.
There we go.
I do have a pretty good collection. I have a lot more games than that now. I've been going out.
You appreciate it now.
I appreciate it a lot more now. When I first got my Wii, it was great and it had the best games out at the time. And as it went on, no games were really being made for it, and I was having this itch for, more games. So I got a PS3. Because of games like Catherine and games like Demon Souls and games like Valkyria Chronicles.
Okay, this isn't my Wii. Actually, this is part of my Wii because I did touch Ultimax a little bit. I wiggled my toes in Ultimax. I rediscovered how bad I am at fighting games.
That's what I rediscovered too.
But okay, now here's the thing about Ultimax. He has a Catherine calendar now.
Yeah, he does. He is apparently...
Okay, but here's the thing. Catherine is in canon. Because if you play P3 Portable, Vincent is there at the beach. At the beach scene.
Look, you just gotta not think too hard about this.
Okay, so the only way this makes sense is that Okay, Catherine is taking place
Look, clearly,
at the same time as P3.
in Persona 5, Catherine is going to be the main character's persona. We've solved the mystery, folks. We've solved it. Tell Phoenix Wright. Tell Conan the Barbarian. Tell Mom.
Okay, so Catherine takes place during Persona 3. He, after getting the law ending, I assume, makes Catherine makes his life story into like a movie deal, and it gets made into an anime instead, and it gets popular, so that's why there's a Catherine calendar in Persona 4, because that's the only way this makes sense, and my god, this continuity. All the Shin Megami Tensei games are in continuity. All of them. Figure it out.
I'm not going to do that because I know better.
They have figured it out on Google. I've looked at that tree.
Look, I've seen a lot of crazy theories. I am just going to...
It's a fifth-dimensional monster that if you stare at it too long, Cthulhu comes out and sucks out your eyeballs with a bendy straw.
I put enough time into the Zelda timeline. I know how this works. Don't think too hard. You start to ruin the games.
Zelda timeline is easy. It's just 3 different things. It's an easy split. Shin Megami Tensei has you killing God multiple times.
No, because the continuity doesn't make sense with like little things like why does Skyward Sword Link have the hat if the hat didn't come into place until the Minish Sword? Was Fee always in the Master Sword? Why did she never show up again? It's little things like that that start to kind of twist the timeline and make it fall apart on itself. And really, it would have been a lot better if...
I just blame Hyrule Warriors.
I would also blame Hyrule Warriors, but you know what? They're all good games. Don't think too hard on the continuity. I really hope that they take the little timeline they made and they don't care at all because the Zelda games were better when there was no continuity and they would just kind of stand alone because then the games could do whatever they want and I like them doing whatever they want.
Oh, actually, there was one thing about Ultimax. Junpei's, I want to say Final Smash's finishing move.
Yeah.
That is actually my new favorite finishing move. It used to be Akihiko's, like, world thing.
Yeah, I still have no idea how that works.
Okay, but Junpei's is so much better. Have you seen it?
I have not.
Okay, so what happens is he summons his persona. It picks the enemy up. It takes him to the moon. It then throws them at you, and Junpei smacks them with his baseball bat.
He is standing up, acting this out right now. He is into this move.
And he smacks you, and you go into the scoreboard and destroy the scoreboard, and it is the most beautiful thing. Oh my god.
Junpei in general in that game was the most beautiful thing.
No, Junpei, okay.
Like, I liked his big reveal, and like, within like the main plot, like he showed up a little bit, but like when he first really showed up and saw the other characters, in the game...
I just wiggled my toes and I made Dark Souls.
This is not gonna spoil anything. Basically, he shows up, and if you remember in the first Persona 4 arena, whenever there was one of the matches, like, there would be the invisible walls. Yeah. Well, he jumps down from the ceiling, and he's like, I'm gonna join this, and then he lands on the invisible ceiling. And
actually, if we're worried about spoilers, we kind of already ruined that talking about, Culprit and...
Well...
When they made him DLC, it kind of just put all that to rest.
No, because there's still a bit more to Adachi in this game.
But you still spoil the fact that he is the bad guy in Persona 4.
Well, if you haven't... My bad, okay? If you haven't played Persona 4 by now, there's no hope for you. Adachi did it. Naoto is a girl who wears boys' clothing, and Chie is the boy who pretends to be a girl. There, Persona 4 spoiled. He's a big Chie fan right now. He is very angry.
There's a bunch of birds in this room. You really ought to get a cage for them.
We have fun here.
Anyway, let's see. Okay, Ultimax, Dark Souls, Batman. I've been watching American Horror Story, Freak Show.
I watched a bit of the original American Horror Story, And it reminded me why I don't watch Western TV anymore.
Why don't you watch Western TV anymore?
Because they are set up in such a way that they don't like having an ending. They don't build towards an ending. They just kind of go and go and go.
Okay, now you see, that's a fair criticism of the other seasons, but American Horror Story, each one is a separate horror story. The first one is by far the best. It has the best pacing, it has the best.
Because I think I watched one of the later ones, and it really felt like they were fishing a little hard.
Where was it set?
I think it was in an asylum?
Yeah, that's the second season.
Yeah, alright. And it really felt like it was fishing a little too hard to because another thing is they tend to focus a little too hard on that cliffhanger ending. Like, I watched an episode and I feel like at the end of it I haven't watched anything at all because they kind of hold all the secrets close to their chest, and it ends up like, if you remember, there was this one show called Lost, and it went on for like 12 seasons.
No, tell me about this Lost that you speak of.
And it went on for 12 seasons, and there was this big secret, and then they never revealed the secret until the end, when it kind of came out that the developers never made, or the writers or whoever, never really had a secret, and they just kind of they were in purgatory. Hooray! There, I spoiled the show, now you don't have to watch it. It's not good.
Well, actually, since that wraps it up for my week, that's actually a perfect segue.
Segue.
Yes. Speaking of shows that never had an ending and were kind of not the best, but were actually kind of good, did you hear that Twin Peaks is getting renewed?
I have heard Twin Peaks is getting renewed.
Did you hear how they announced it?
No, I did not. I learned it from Half in the Bag, actually.
Okay, this is how they announced it. David Lynch goes on Twitter and says, they're making that flavor of gum that you like. And then he links a YouTube video from the second season where one of the female characters, I can't remember who, said, "See you in 25 years." And guess how long Twin Peaks has been off the air?
I'm going to guess 25 years.
Exactly.
Wow. What do you know?
What do you know, indeed?
Then you have to wait for the baby to laugh, and that's how you find the Silent Hill spoiler in PT. If you haven't learned anything about...
I am trying to avoid as much as I can about that because I want to play it just raw. Just
PT?
Just straight raw.
Or the Silent Hill game.
The PT. I want to play that just straight raw.
Because I don't have a PS4, so I have not played that yet. I'm hoping to eventually get a PS4, in the near future. But I have learned that the way they figured it out, is super, super, super convoluted. You would not figure this out on your own.
Don't tell me it then.
So I'm trying not to spoil anything, but you're probably gonna have to do a Google search on that one. It was a little... I don't know how people figured it out in the first place.
It was a little obtuse.
It was, like trying to climb the Wall of China with a plunger. Doable, but not practical.
That's the most twisted metaphor I've ever heard.
I love weird metaphors.
Well, I don't even have a really good segue for that one. I'm terrible at the segue.
So, if you like plungers, let's talk about...
Oh, that's actually really well. Okay, so, speaking of plungers, somebody just flushed his game down the shitter.
Who flushed that game down the shitter?
I am actually not sure of his name. I will find his name again, but I do know what the game was.
I'm now confused, actually.
Okay, now, you remember in how Gamergate...
I know a lot about Gamergate, yes.
Let's see, Now, you know how people were sending death threats?
I know a lot about people sending death threats. That's apparently all anyone talks about these days.
Now, the guy behind Paranautical Activity, it was a game on Steam.
Anything to do with Paranormal Activity, that really bad series of movies?
Well, it was underwater. It's underwater ghosts. So
underwater. So it's
nautical.
all right. So it's like the BioShock of.
No, actually, you remember? Have you ever seen Beyond Two Souls?
I have. I borrowed that game, and then I ended up never playing it. But I did borrow
Good job.
it a little bit.
Good. Terrible idea for borrowing it.
Well, I borrowed like a stack of games from a friend, and then I ended up like playing like 2 of them, and I didn't get to Beyond Two Souls.
Good.
So
Good.
I heard it was pretty bad, so I'm not that worried.
Okay, there's an underwater Chinese base where they do experiments on ghosts.
Great.
Basically that.
Great.
Well, the point is, it was a Steam Early Access game, and then they finished it.
I actually finished those?
I know, it's amazing. But apparently somebody actually did finish the Early Access game.
Wow, that is a first for Steam. Congratulations, Steve.
Well, this is also a first. When they didn't update it, that it was off Early Access, it was fixed in 2 hours. But, he was still a little angry. So, being the most intelligent person on the planet, decided to send a Twitter death threat to Gabe Newell. Not even a joke. He sends a death threat, then he says, enter, I am going to kill Gabe Newell. Now, can you guess what happened to his game on Steam?
I feel like Gabe Newell would just cut that game.
He did. In fact, the game is completely off Steam. I think the publisher page is off Steam. So, that's not really news. It's just like...
It's just don't fuck with Gabe Newell.
Don't send death threats to people.
The man made Portal. The man made Half-Life.
The man is
Steam
not making
sales.
He is not making Half-Life. Is the problem?
Hey, it's got to be worth the wait.
I like Duke Nukem was.
Don't.
Here's a fun fact. Here's a fun fact. Half-Life 3 has been dead longer than Duke Nukem has. Half-Life 3 has been dead longer than Duke Nukem has by now.
One of these here. I actually got Duke Nukem.
Don't show me. Don't.
Oh, yeah. I got this as a joke, actually. I didn't buy it because of Duke, because I never actually played Duke Nukem as a kid. But me and my friends were like, you know what? We're going to get drunk, and we're going to play some bad games. And we picked out the Duke Nukem because it was really bad. And we got drunk, but we didn't play the game because we got like 30 minutes in and decided playing on a race go-kart is really fucking boring. So
Point is,
that game is not even good drunk. That's how bad that game is.
Okay, moral of the story. Here's the big moral of the story. Don't send death threats to the guy who owns the place where your game is available.
I'm gonna one up that one. Moral of the story: don't send death threats. Don't do it.
That's also a very good.
Don't send I'm gonna be frank. I browse a lot of 4chan. Don't send death threats. It doesn't do anything. It can only make things worse. Unless you're sending death threats to yourself. In which case it might be making it better. Because then they might kill themselves, and that's crazy.
Maybe.
That's the joke. That's probably a really bad joke, but that's the joke.
Dark joke.
Well, that's because of Dark Souls. So.
There's a few other pieces of news I'd like to get to.
We're going to do some more news. We're doing news.
Okay, so apparently, Bayonetta 2 has been banned in Saudi Arabia.
Fantastic. They don't deserve Bayonetta 2. I can't wait for Bayonetta 2. I haven't played Bayonetta 1.
Well, it's a good thing because Bayonetta 1 comes with Bayonetta 2.
I know, right? That's why I'm like, yay! I'm going to play as Metroid Bayonetta. And that may actually be the next game I work on for my channel, assuming I ever get done with Hyrule Warriors. assuming. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I played some of the Devil May Cries, not DMC, but the actual Devil May Cries, and they're really great. And I'm kind of a little hyped for this game, even though I'm not a big fan of the genre. I just want to see a hot girl kick some ass. Is that too much to ask? Saudi Arabia can't deal with that.
Personally, I don't think Bayonetta is all that hot, really. There's just something about her design.
You know what? I can understand, like, she's not that hot, but she can strut.
It is fair
like,
enough.
she's working what she got.
She's got, and those legs go on for miles.
They do go on.
That's actually the problem. Her legs are too long. It's like, okay, after a while, that just seems a bit...
Well, no, like, that shows off how much range she has in her kicks. It's a feature, not a bug.
Meh. Meh, I say to you. I'm a goat. Meh.
I wonder if that's how they decided, like, how long Bayonetta's legs were like she needs to be at least 4 pixels of hit range. Make her that tall. That would actually be the best reason ever, by the way.
Okay. Apparently, the live-action Halo TV show, which I didn't know existed.
I remember they announced that when they announced the, like, PS... or the Xbox One.
The Xbone? I'm glad that's, like, the worst... Never mind. But, yeah, apparently there's a trailer for it.
I don't care, because I'm not a big Halo fan, actually. I will say Halo, like the original ones, the first couple, I haven't played 3 and 4, but I played like the first 2 a lot as a kid, because everyone I knew played it, and they're good games. They're fantastic games, in fact.
Halo 2, I still think is the best version of that game.
That's a fair opinion. I didn't play them enough to,
Make
that call.
I was a really big Halo fan. And so, yeah, I consider it a really, really fun game.
Like, I was too busy playing Metroid Prime 2, which is the best of the Metroid Primes, as my first-person shooters. Which really isn't much of a first-person shooter at all, honestly. Like,
I was gonna
a lot of my friends give me flack for, like, not being very good and not playing a whole lot of shooters. But that's because so many of them are really bad and generic. I love first-person shooting. But I like first-person shooting when there's more to do than hide behind cover and just be like, ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta.
Bang, bang, I got you.
Bang, bang, I got... Yeah, like, I don't like shooty bang-bangs. I like Vanquish, where you're, like, roaming around. And pew, pew, pew. Even though that's an imperfect game, I would play that game over Call of Duty all day, every day. I would play Metroid Prime over Halo every day. I'm trying to think of some other first... Valkyria Chronicles. Not a traditional, it's more of an RPG, but it's got some first-person shooting, and I fell in love with it. I'm trying to think of some other first-person shooters.
Well,
Can't think of anything right now, but I'm sure they're out there, and I'll play them.
well, speaking of games that aren't first-person shooters, did you hear about the Korra game?
Yes, I had a very strong, heated argument with one of my friends on Facebook.
Really?
Over this game. Yes, he was like, because my friend is a really big horror fan. I don't want to say like we got angry at each other, but he's a big horror fan. He was like, I'm gonna get this day one because I just really love horror. And I was like, hey man, that's great and all that you're a huge fan of horror, but from what I'm hearing, the game is kind of shovelware.
Okay, now you say that. You say that about Platinum Games.
I will say that I love Platinum Games. They make some fantastic games. The way it was developed is shovelware.
Though it was developed by Shovel. It was developed like shovelware. It probably is not going to be as immersive as Bayonetta 2, but it is still a Platinum character action game. It doesn't really matter.
Well, the thing is, it kind of does matter, because you can make a bad Bayonetta Devil May Cry game if you want to look at DMC. Like, people hated that game because it was just not fun to play.
It was easy, but this is going to have... Okay, there is a literal quote from Platinum. If you like our games, play this on the hard mode. This is our difficulty.
See, that's fine. Like, if you like Platinum Games, though, why are you buying Core? Like, go back and play...
But if you don't...
Better Platinum game. Go back and play...
This is the thing. Platinum is like the guy...
Like, here's what I'm going to say, because, you know what? I love Platinum. And I feel really bad. Platinum, got stuck with this game the way they got stuck with. Like, I don't mind that they worked on it, but I hated the fact that they had to push it out so fast. And that's why it's shovelware to me. Like, it was pushed too fast when they could have took the time and made a really great game out of it.
It is still a really great game.
It's barely a decent game.
It's a really good game.
It has, like, 2 assets and, like, one interesting, like, bending, swirly thing that really doesn't matter in the end, because from all the reviews I've heard of it, it doesn't really matter. You can bash B and kill everything, even in some of the harder difficulties.
But that's not...
No, because, like, in the Bayonettas and the Metal Gear Risings, like, you had to mix things up, and the way the game was designed was that, like, it helped reinforce mixing things up, and having a good time, and learning your combos, and that was great. But in this one, you could just, like, alright, pow, pow, pow.
But they're playing it on normal. You've got to play it on the difficulty level that the developers told you to play it on.
I hear that, and what I'm saying is, from what I've heard, people still playing it on hard mode aren't using all the cool, neat little combos, and even, like, some of the ones they added in don't really do enough to warrant them. And all in all, they could have done a better job with the game if they had more time. I feel really bad for Platinum. I'm super, like, if it wasn't Platinum making this game, it would be 100% atrocious. And
but it is...
every little shining star of that game goes right on Platinum's belt for doing something amazing in such a little time frame.
But what you're saying is go back and play a different game. But Platinum is Platinum is the game developer version of the guy
here's
underwater with a snorkel, and every time you give the money, the snorkel gets a little bit longer so they can stay alive for just a little bit longer. Platinum.
Well, see, I hear that and I get that, but here's the thing. If Platinum died as a company, all the guys who work there would just make another company. Like, that's what happened when they got kicked out of, the original Devil May Cry. Because they were originally a bunch of people who made the Devil May Cry. And,
well, that was what, Capcom? Yeah.
Yeah, Capcom. And
Good
Capcom
job,
was like, we don't really feel like doing the things you like to do. Like, we're going to go make Platinum.
Good job, Capcom.
Yeah, Capcom. Great job.
Super special there.
But here's the thing, like, you don't have to support a mediocre game. And that tells licensors to go to your game companies, and tell them, hey, we want to play a core game. We don't want to play a bad core game. Please give these developers a little more time, be a little bit more patient with them, understand what you're buying into. Don't give them a license and then expect them to crap out a game in 3 weeks. Because that's how the Atari almost killed gaming.
I still think you're wrong, but...
And here's... I'm going to say one last piece. The end of my heated debate, as you will, with my friend, was I told him, you know what? It's fine that you play this game. I don't mind. It's not the worst game in the world. It could have been a whole lot worse. Like, it could have been M. Night Shyamalan's Avatar movie worse. And Platinum should be praised for what they did, but keep in mind, you could always ask for something better. And I'm definitely one who kind of wants to take a little bit more of the high road on this case.
Whatever. I just want Platinum to make... Well, I actually don't like character action games, but even I can appreciate a well-made game.
And here's the thing, like, Platinum's gonna get their money when Bayonetta comes out for me. Like, I'm gonna throw my money at them, and... Oh my gosh, texting me. And that's gonna happen.
Professional podcasting!
Professional podcasting. You can tell by the noises and the sounds going on through the house. We have...
Professional podcasting.
Our own studio. Hold on, it's the Humble Bundle. The Humble Bundle is letting me know, that they are currently selling games I don't care about.
What games?
I don't know. Some indie crap.
Don't say indie crap.
I'm more than willing to say indie crap. Because there are a lot of bad indie games.
There are a lot of good indie games.
Yes, and I have those indie games.
Let me see what they're selling.
You know what?
Let me see what they're selling.
We're gonna talk about this. Here we go. We got Typewriter. We got Ludwig. We got Crazy Plant Shop. Sokoban, Influent, Contraption Maker, and the Counting Kingdom. I actually know a little bit about that game. I think the only guy on Extra Credits who knows what he's talking about did a little review on that. And his mark was, this is a really great game if you want to learn how to make a game for 5-year-olds. And that was his spiel. So I'm not 5 years old. I'll pass on this one.
Whatever, dude. Taken away from charity.
Look, I'm getting emails from Humble Bundle, alright? I care. When a good game comes out, I'm more than willing.
Taken away from take the food right out of the little
Do you know
orphans.
how big my Steam library is right now? I can't buy any more games.
Take the food right out of the orphan's house.
I don't have to.
Take the food, why don't you?
No, Mr. Gable, don't give me another Steam sale. I can't handle it.
Alright, we're actually an hour in.
Yeah, this happens pretty fast.
Okay, so now that we're finished with news and there's something really amazing happens.
I'm pregnant. That's news.
You're pregnant and Gabe Newell's the father.
That's right. And Platinum's the other father. Science. Half-Life 3.
Never coming out. That's why I want to go as Halloween. I'm going to just dress up just completely normally. I'm going to be like, what are you? I'm going to go up to them and I'm going to whisper, Half-Life 3 is never coming out.
I'm just gonna, I should dress up as Gabe Newell and just, have a copy of Half-Life 2 and, a scratch on the side and say 3 and be like, look, I made you Half-Life 3. It's the same as you wanted. Because I feel like the longer it goes on, the more likely we're just gonna get Half-Life 2 regurgitated. And I have really high hopes for Gabe Newell. That man did some great things, but... Did. He also added hats to Team Fortress 2.
Anyway. Okay, so our one segment I think we really have planned is... I don't want to use my real name. Inigo's Adventures in not podcasting. In Dark Souls.
This guy played Dark Souls.
Yeah, Inigo's Adventures in Dark Souls 2.
Alright. Go for it.
Okay, so what I
want to premise this. Why did you jump onto Dark Souls? Because you jumped on late into the bandwagon.
Okay, I had heard about Dark Souls. I'd played a little bit of the first one. I'd watched some people play. I didn't really like it. There was something about the original Dark Souls that just never appealed to me.
So you played the original Dark Souls?
A little bit. I played maybe the first 5 minutes of the very first part of the game. So
alright, so you didn't play Dark Souls.
I didn't play Dark Souls. Okay, let's be honest.
You played a half a trailer version of it. Alright, that's fair, but that's fair.
Actually, I may have played less than a trailer version of Dark Souls.
Because I know a lot of people who picked it up and played the first 10 minutes and be like, this game's not for me, and they put it down. And that's a pretty fair thing. So why then did down the road you be like, hey, I'm thinking of buying Dark Souls 2, and I was like, I'll let you borrow it. How did that happen?
Well, there were many things in my life at the moment. It was all inspired by the best friends Zaibatsu, who, if they ever listen to this, oh my god, I will be so happy. If they ever
That's not gonna happen.
It could.
It's not gonna happen.
It could.
It's not gonna happen.
Don't make me cry.
I'm gonna make you cry.
Half-Life 3 never comes out.
I will live with that. I haven't actually played Half-Life 1. Deal with it.
Oh, but anyway, so Pat and Wooly decided to do a playthrough of Dark Souls 2. And I thought, okay, well, they don't have anything else, and I'm still waiting for October for their horror games, so I'll watch that. And 15 episodes in, it's like, I'm still watching this. This actually looks doable. This doesn't look as...
It is fantastically doable, in fact.
And this is, I swear to God, this is one of my thoughts I had. Dark Souls doesn't look as hard as it seems.
It's not. It's not that hard.
Well.
Okay, good. Go on.
Okay. So, I decide, okay, you know what? I'm gonna try it out. And my friend, whatever you want your fake name, internet name to be.
Silver Steven
Silver Steven.
I'm not really hiding my name.
Subscribe to his YouTube channel, folks.
Subscribe, comment, dislike.
Please do anything.
Love me.
So lets me borrow it. So I have a PS3 for Persona 5, and I put it in.
It's coming out for Persona.
Pardon?
It's coming out on the 4, though. It's coming out on the PS4.
And 3.
Yeah, but you're not gonna have the HD.
I don't give a fuck. It's coming out on 5. It's coming out on 3. Anyway, so I play and I'm having fun. So I'm going to tell you what I did the previous week in Dark Souls.
Alright.
Some weeks it may just be I was grinding for souls, but that's perfectly fine.
You know what, on the first playthrough, that's pretty fine.
Okay, so this week I beat 2 bosses.
Wow.
He
beat the first 2 bosses.
Not the first 2 bosses. I actually did also beat Pursuer.
Wow, he beat the first 3 bosses.
Kiss my ass. I beat Old Dragon Rider and Old Dragon Slayer.
Alright.
Now, Dragon Rider...
What a scrub.
Fuck you.
We're gonna have fun in this segment.
Oh, yes we are. So, I beat them without summons.
Oh wow, I beat the game without summons.
Oh, that's a bullshit, and you know it.
That
that's
is
bullshit, and you know it.
That is not bullshit. And I know it.
Yeah, whatever bullshit. Anyway.
You don't need summons to be... Like, after you played the bosses a couple billion times, like, you learn, you don't need summons to do them.
Anyway. So, Old Dragon Rider. I died once on him, I will admit. Yeah, I'm a scrub. Kiss my ass.
I died him all the time. It's not about dying like this game. It's about how hard you can hit. Keep getting up. That's Rocky.
Oh, I should mention that I am running a Dex Spear build. Just sort of spear and board.
There's no saving him.
I could have run a sorcery build my first time through.
Maybe you should have just been Giant Dad like everybody else.
I am not playing as Guts.
No, oh my god, he doesn't know about the legend, folks. He doesn't know.
Whatever, I don't care. I'm not playing it.
I'll show him about the legend later. Don't you worry.
I'm not playing Dark Souls for the story. If you're playing Dark Souls for the story...
This has nothing to do with the story. The legend, for those of you who don't know, in the early days of Dark Souls, there was a common build that used like a really heavy armor and a 2-handed Zweihander. And you would be like super fast rolling in your heavy armor and just... It was kind of broken. Specific YouTuber made a video about how like he sort of remade the build for a modern age post like 40 patches. And the joke was the legend never dies.
Oh, well, I don't care. I like spears. Shut up.
And so like it's one of the more popular like builds because of, you know, this video.
Shut up, you smell.
That hurts. That hurts deep.
Anyway. So, yes, I'm running a spear build. So, I do know how to circle strafe. So, I circle strafe around him and I kill him and it's all good.
Alright.
So, I go to Old Dragon Slayer.
Alright.
That was a bit frustrating. I've only almost rage quit once.
Almost once. He has not even gotten started, folks.
Well, to be... With Dark Souls, you've either almost rage quit or have rage quit.
Pretty much.
Okay, here's what I've discovered about Dark Souls. This is off the topic completely. But Dark Souls thrives in that zone between rage quit. Well, when I say thrives, I mean it gets the most enjoyment from you.
Yeah.
It laughs at you. It thrives between that area between you're doing good and rage quit. That area where you're getting frustrated and you're making stupid small mistakes like forgetting to roll or walking off the edge of a building.
Yeah, it's all a game about patience, and like one slip of your patience is going to cause you to like, alright, I can take these 40 enemies. Don't even worry about it.
No, not even that, but like you're so frustrated you're forgetting the enemy's pattern.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. Like you forget, you know, to keep your shield up, or you know,
or don't forget to
you walk to a door and forget, like, oh, there's a guy right there, or
perfect. Oh God, I'm just quoting them now. Ugh.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I tried to beat him 7 times. Fortunately, I did just get the Ring of Binding, so it wasn't terrible. So the first 6 times, these are my main thoughts. Motherfucker! Motherfucker! He follows up with that motherfucking goddamn motherfucker! He's so fast, he's too goddamn fast! So, 7th time. Drink one of my 4 Estises. And I decide, okay, you know what? I'm going to circle strafe instead of circle strafing to the left. Now, when we're talking, to the left refers to my character's left, the shield arm.
Alright.
So I decide to circle to the right. And I beat him within 5 minutes.
That's, you know what? If it works, it works.
But it's weird because his pattern is like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like all his patterns just go to the left,
Yeah.
and you can't.
Well, it's the way he holds his sword.
It's not a sword though. It's like a halberd or whatever.
His weapon, if you will. It's on that side, so the hitboxes are more on that side. There are a lot of enemies like that, where if you're on one side of them, you have a lot better chance of avoiding them than the other.
Well, it was.
And then there's some bosses you're just not going to avoid. Ancient Dragon!
It was shockingly easy how... It was shocking how easy he was, really, because it was... I can't even really describe it, because...
Well, like, yeah,
if you've played Dark Souls, you know the feeling of just finding...
Once you figure out a boss, like, they fall apart in front of you. It's like, oh, remember when you were hard? Ha, 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 ha. Get good. Like, you're literally looking at these bosses that were once, like, monumentous, like, evil. Like,
monumentous challenges.
Walls of China that you had to dig through with a plunger.
You're just gonna melt that walls of China with a plunger thing to death, aren't you?
Today I am.
Oh, God. At least we know our episode title.
But, like, once you figure out, like, oh, I don't have to use the plunger. There's dynamite right there. Like, then that's it. Like, you never have to worry about it again.
And now, in my defense, I did have to circle strafe the other direction with the old Dragon Rider.
Yeah.
Because of the shield. And if you have a spear build, I've discovered that you want to avoid hitting shields at all costs. Because it's a very narrow point. I'm still not good at the spear, because I'm still finding the right range to do the maximum damage. But I'm discovering that you have to be very careful with it because it breaks super easy.
Yeah. A lot of those dex-based weapons break really easy.
So I've got the bow.
Like, especially the katanas. They're like 2 hits and it's like, it's broken.
Yeah.
You gotta walk back to the bonfire for this?
Stuck on that,
Should've
katana lovers. Stuck on it, katana lovers.
Should've went with the Zweihander.
Oh, fuck off with your 2-handed slab of metal.
You know what? Like, even before the legend, the Zweihander was my weapon. Because here's my Dark Souls story, alright?
Okay, let's listen to your Dark Souls story.
My Dark Souls story. So,
gather around, children.
Gather around, kids.
Are you going to do the voices? Are you going to do the voices, Grandpa Steven?
But basically, a long time ago, I'm sitting around talking on an internet forum about a particular manga. You may have heard of it. It's called Berserk. It's a dark fantasy. And this was about the same time that Demon Souls came out.
Now, I see where you're going with this.
And so we're talking about Berserk, and someone's like, hey, have you guys played Berserk the game? And I thought they were talking about the PS2 game, which, you know, I want to play, but it wasn't ever translated. But instead, like, he posted screens of this HT game that had eerily similar imagery to Berserk. And, like, you know, one of the weapons, like, looked like Guts' sword. Like, there were these salamander creatures that looked like... You could definitely tell there was some inspiration to this manga. And it's fine. But, like, I saw it and was like, you know what? This is interesting. I do some Google searches and I'm like, oh, this game actually people seem to really like. Maybe I'll go and buy it. And I was about to go buy it. But then I saw a news article saying the online servers were going to go down soon. And so I waited. And I was like, you know what? I want to buy a game that the servers are going to die for. I think I can pass on this one. And I passed, and I waited a little longer, and like people kept talking about this game, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I should buy this. But there was still like news articles kept coming out about how the servers for Demon's Souls were eventually going to die in the very near future. And so I waited, and then eventually a new news article came out that the studio who made it was going to make a spiritual successor to the game called Dark Souls.
And that's how babies are made.
Yeah. And so pretty much, day one...
Except not in Japan.
Day one, I bought Dark Souls, I played it, and it was love at first kill. Like, this game just felt so beautiful. The combat was... Everything about it just felt like I was in control, like I knew what I was doing. It was fast, and yet it was slow. It was intense. It was weighty. It felt good. All those themes of like the dark horror were there, like right in my face. I had so much fun with this game that as soon as I beat it, I immediately went to the store and picked up Demon's Souls because I needed more. And the bright news, as far as I know, the Demon's Souls servers are still up. So, I love these two games. I love them to death. I played them to death. I probably played every build possible in Dark Souls. I beat that game so many times. I played probably just as much Demon's Souls. Maybe just a little bit less. And then Dark Souls 2 came out, and it was announced. And there were all these trailers. And I was, staring intently at these trailers because I was in love with these games, right? But then the game came out, and I had it in my hands, and it came with this pre-order bonus that felt really weird because I don't like all this DLC stuff. Like, DLC weapons in a game that's all about being very vulnerable and weak felt awkward to me. And
to be fair, the DLC weapons aren't the best.
Oh, they absolutely suck, but just having them there was like this bad start. And then I put it in, and I played it for a little bit.
And it caused your PS3 to become possessed?
It didn't give me what I wanted. It's a great game, but for someone who played Dark Souls to death and Demon's Souls to death, it felt so soulless. No pun intended. But it really felt soulless. It felt a little uninspired. It didn't have the charm. Like, the combat was still the same, but all the enemies were the same. There wasn't enough interesting things to really, like, make me want to go, alright, I beat this character, let's make another build, let's make another build, let's make another build. The same way I did as Dark Souls. Like, I beat the game, I put it back in its case, and then I put Dark Souls right back into my PS3.
Moral of the story, buy War Bonds.
But yeah, so that's my Dark Souls story.
Okay, I think part of your problem is that what you're looking for is this sword in Dark Souls 2.
No, I used the greatsword. That sword sucked balls.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
It just was really awkward because, like, I ended up using the Zweihander through most of Dark Souls and the Gut Sword in Demon's Souls, just because I really love the aesthetic of just having a weapon that does huge amounts of damage in single hits. Like, I like...
Were you dual handling the Ultra Great Sword in Dark Souls 2?
No, I just used one.
You used one hand like the boss you are?
No, like I two-handed it.
Oh, you two-handed it.
Yeah, like I'm two-handing it.
Well, that might have been part of the problem there.
Well, the great sword just felt really bad to use. The Zweihander still felt really good to use. And I was really kind of sad in Dark Souls and in Dark Souls 2 that the Zweihander was like the best of the Ultra Great Swords, because it was kind of the thinnest of the Ultra Great Swords, and I really wanted... The Demon's Souls has this...
you wanted a chunk of metal.
Sword. Yeah, like, I wanted a chunk of iron that I could just hit things with. And you can tell that because the reason I jumped into the games is Berserk.
Which they were inspired by the way.
Yeah, they were...
Totally inspired by that.
Inspired is the word we're going to use here.
Inspired instead of masturbating furiously over copies of Berserk while they code.
Yeah, and that's fine. I'm glad somebody took that inspiration and made a game out of it.
Speaking of Berserk, if you want to read Berserk, ask yourself, do I want to see babies get bitten in half within the first 10 pages? If the answer is no, don't read Berserk.
But read Berserk anyways, because it's really great.
No, it's got babies being bitten in half.
It's got horse rape. It's still fantastic.
Oh. I forgot about horse rape. I forgot about...
How do you forget horse rape?
Well, to be fair, I'm reading them...
Everybody gets raped in this manga.
I'm reading Berserk in a... let's call it nautical sense.
Nautical sense.
Yes, nautical. Don't pirate things, kids. That's bad.
But yeah, Berserk is really great.
Support manga unless you live in a shithole like we do, in which case nothing gets released.
Yeah, we live in America, by the way.
Well, we live in a specific part of America, and that's the thing. Because if we live somewhere more metropolitan,
we could still order it online.
We could order it online, but
here's the thing. That shit's expensive, yo. Like, for a series like Berserk, like, I'd be willing to pay, like, maybe $100 for, like, the whole thing. But,
well, you see,
a lesser series that wants to charge me, like, the same amount for the whole thing, I'm not gonna buy.
Well, you see, $100 for Berserk would only get you, like, maybe the first 2 arcs. Because Berserk has been going on for how many years exactly?
Yeah, but it's been on hiatus for just as many.
Oh, okay, let's see. How long has Berserk been?
How long have they been on the boat? That's a better question.
Let's see. That's
Berserk.
the
most important question.
No, I don't want the M&M version.
Because it's as old as Vagabond.
Okay, let's see. Berserk manga, let's see.
Because I think, like, they came up for, like, the same, like, new...
Oh my god, it only started in 1990?
Yeah.
I thought it started in the 80s.
No, it's not that old. Like, it's only 2 decades. It's only 2 decades, guy.
Only 2 decades.
Yeah.
Berserk is as old as I am.
But yeah, it's a good series. And, like, another point I will bring out is, I don't like actual subs of anime just because...
You don't like subs?
No, I like subs. I like fan subs. And I don't like official subs. And then, before anyone's like, why there's no difference, there's a bit of a difference, and it's cultural. Fan subbing sort of has a bit of a community behind it.
It's got more soul.
It's not soul. It's more of there's a lot more like weird tongue-in-cheek things and things to make like watching shows.
Oh, you mean like shit? What was it? JoJo, how many breads have you eaten?
If you haven't watched Gigi's version of JoJo, you should check that out because that is exactly what I'm talking about here.
To be fair, they actually did keep that with the official subtitle.
Did they really?
I seriously did. Check Crunchyroll.
I will check horrible subs then.
They literally did keep. Well, it's not really a horrible sub if they did it on purpose.
No. Horrible subs is this group.
Is this group what?
Horrible Subs is a group that basically just takes Crunchyroll subs and then pretends they're their own. Not really. They're pretty open about the fact that they steal them.
And we are back because we messed up the recording software.
Yeah, because we are professionals over here.
We are professionals who use plungers to climb the Great Wall of China.
That is... You know what? Now you're using the plungers.
It's going to be the episode title.
Maybe. I'm going to decide. Maybe I'll call it Great Wall of China. A Plumber's Adventure.
It's
Ever
still...
think about that?
We're still going to talk. We're still going to have plungers. And don't stand sassy with me there, buddy.
Nothing else. We're gonna have fun here.
Alrighty, so what are you going to do with your week?
What am I going to do? I'm going to spend practically my whole week trying to get my review for Hyrule Warriors out onto my channel because I have been working on this thing for like a month and I've rewritten the script like 3 times now.
And what is your channel, good sir?
My channel is the Silver Steven. That's the Silver Steven. Apparently I have to have the there because somebody took just regular Silver Steven, but
well, you're the only one that matters.
I know, right? I'm the only one that matters, so it's the Silver Steven. You can also shoot me an email on thesilversteven@gmail.com if you want to contact me.
And what's that, boss? What is that? The Silver Steven at
thesilversteven@gmail.com, and you can contact me if you want to contact either of us. You can send it that way.
And where can we find this lovely podcast and all the other podcasts that we will upload?
For now, I'm just going to put it on the YouTube channel.
But what if I want to listen to it on the go?
I'm getting to that. We're going to have an MP3 link on that YouTube channel, just right there. So if for whatever reason you're listening to this right now, lo and behold, the MP3 link is probably just right there, right? Just look down. Like not at the floor, but like down on your monitor. You know what I'm talking about. He's looking at me like I'm an idiot.
Well, if the shoe fits.
Hey. You must have quit.
No, that's something completely different. Anyway, so what else are you going to do with your week besides try to rewrite Hyrule Warriors yet again?
I actually have no idea. Probably, if I get done with that in time, I'm going to hop onto that Bayonetta. I'm going to be all about that Bayonetta.
You're gonna hop onto the Bayonetta.
I'm going to hop onto the Bayonetta. There's no pun there. I'm just going to hop onto it.
Your copy of Bayonetta is going to be the most disgusting thing on the planet.
That's okay with me.
Oh, God.
No, but I'll probably play that game. That'll probably be the next thing up that I review. Just because I really want to do something on Platinum Games. That's pretty much going to be all I have planned for that week.
Give us money, Platinum.
Give us money, Platinum. I feel like we just argued earlier about giving money to Platinum. I feel like this is a roundabout. We have become the Adam Sandlers of our podcast.
Well, we're already shilling for Doritos and Mountain Dew.
Look, if I could shill for Doritos and Mountain Dew, I would do it. Because there's probably a lot of money right there. What are you going to do with your week?
Well, my friend, I am going to play some more Dark Souls 2.
That sounds like a thing you should have already beaten by now. What are you doing? Get good.
I'm also going to play some Ultimax, dip my toes in that a bit more, try the story mode. Did you know in Ultimax you can actually have the computer play the story mode for you? And you can
if you are a scrub lord. Are you a scrub lord?
I am not a scrub lord. That's actually a really terrible YouTube series of YouTube videos.
I have not seen scrub. I just know it means a lord of scrubs. And that's Scrubs.
And the reason you've never heard of it is good, because it doesn't exist. It's also the first project the best friends had. Please listen to us, oh best friends! Anyway.
It's clear that he has a favorite YouTube channel.
I do have a favorite YouTube channel, and it's not yours.
Low blow, bro. Low bro.
Anyway, I'm going to dip my toes back into some Ultimax. I'm gonna see if I can't do more of the story mode, maybe unlock the P3 version. That's another thing I wanted to mention. Junpei, about his story. When I first heard about his story, my friend and I were talking. It's like, okay, so Junpei's going to be in that. He's got a baseball team. That's kind of weird. Oh, he teaches orphans baseball. He's a coach of a little league team.
He's a bro for life.
And he gets them ice, and it's like, oh my god, that's adorable. I bet you he gets them topsicles every time after every game, and it doesn't matter if they win or lose. Because that's the kind of guy Junpei is. Anyway, yes, I'm going to do some Ultimax. I'm going to do some Dark Souls 2. I'm getting that itch again. What itch, you may ask? The MMO itch.
The MMO itch. I don't have that itch.
No, because you're not insane.
That's probably true. Like, every time I've tried to play an MMO, it's just fallen apart because I just can't get into them. That's because I have no friends.
Well, I don't have any friends either. Oh, except you, but you don't count. You don't play MMOs.
I have no friends anymore.
But yeah, I am actually playing 2 MMOs at the moment. They both have Star in the title.
Alright.
I'm playing Star Trek Online, which we could do an entire episode about the success and failures of that. Basically, I can sum it up in 4 words rather. Ground combat. Well, actually, no. I don't know how many words. A sentence.
A great wall, a plunger amount of words. I'm bringing it home.
Yes, you are.
That reference doesn't even make sense anymore. We're doing it.
Okay, ground combat
Am I
bad.
funny yet?
Ground combat bad. Spaceships good. That's 5 words.
With 5 Great Walls of China. Go on.
I was able to sum up the Star Trek Online experience.
Alright.
And I'm also playing the Old Republic. I don't know why, I'm just a Star Wars fan.
Tortanic? Really?
It's not that bad.
If you ever have to say it's not that bad, it's that bad.
You could say that about WoW.
How is that bad?
Well, yes, you could say that about, okay, what's a good MMO? I don't know.
My point exactly, folks.
By War Bonds.
By War Bonds. I think the only MMO that, like, maybe I had a little bit of fun with was Terra. Just because it actually had, like, combat.
Oh, okay. Oh, wait, I know a good MMO. Guild Wars 2. Alright, fair enough.
From what I've seen, little bits I played, it didn't seem that great. Like, Terra, I actually used a controller for, and that was great. I was like, yeah.
You just not
some of, like, the Fox MMOs, like, Destiny kind of MMOs, like, those are kind of interesting.
You're just not a member of the PC master race.
I am a member of the PC master race. We are recording on a very expensive PC. That is mine right now. I have Steam. I love the games.
Everybody has Steam.
Yeah, but, like, I play with max settings, brah. Max settings, brah.
Oh, yes, please, tell me more.
I would love to tell you more. I can get...
Tell me how big exactly your dick is. Your
it
PC
is
dick.
as big as the mustard race ought to be.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm... Actually, for this console generation, I was so unimpressed by the PS4 and the Xbox One that I bought a Wii U and a PC.
Wow, that's really unimpressed.
That is how I got this PC. At first, I was like, all right, I'm just going to get a PS4. I'm going to upgrade that way. I'm going to get my Wii U because, God damn it.
If you don't have a PS4, how are you going to play Bloodborne?
Look, man, I told you I'm eventually going to have to get a PS4 just for
just for Bloodborne.
Games. I think Bloodborne is one of the games on my radar. Obviously Persona 5. I want to get that in the true HD. Type 0, Final Fantasy Type 0 and Final Fantasy 15. Those both look interesting. That's like, those are 4 games like on my radar, sort of exclusives. Like, some of them are on Xbox, but I'm never getting an Xbox.
Anyway, okay, so what else? Oh, I think I'm also going to maybe pick up Payday 2 again.
Alright.
I could also talk about that forever, but I'm not going to because we're 9 minutes.
We are going to have to do a lot of editing because we've talked for over like an hour and 30 minutes at this point, and we want to get it down to an hour. So
no, we don't.
I do.
No, just edit out the bad parts. Just edit out the dead air and stuff, and we can. We'll have
nothing left.
We'll just put it. Just fuck it. Play it all.
Fuck it. We'll do it live.
Yes, exactly. Fuck it. We'll do it live. See you guys.